So here's the top 3 reasons why sellers choose to go with an investor over working with the real estate agent. And I know this is one of those, it's pretty controversial. People look at this and they're like, oh guys, you either have to go one way or the other. But I'm just going to let you guys know from my experience why sellers tend to lean towards working with us versus working with an agent. And so, first and foremost, let me qualify this by saying that we always educate our sellers on what retail value is for their home or what we believe retail value to be. And we always, first and foremost, try to tell them to list with a realtor because we want them to try to capture as much equity as possible and we want them to do what's best for their situation. But oftentimes we get the number one thing, which is they just want what they want and they need to get out of there pretty fast and their minds are made up that an agent is not going to be able to help them do that in a timely manner. So, one could argue that agents can, but there's no predictability in the market. And there's no guarantee that the buyer can close on a certain timeline. And if they've got to go move, if they've got to go pay some debt or whatever they've got to do, they need to go, and that's a non negotiable. The second big one that we see is that their house is just completely in disarray. Like it's a mess. Like there's cat piss, it's just absolutely disgusting. They've got foundation issues. They've got all these things that are wrong. And once they calculate kind of that discounted price, and then they calculate maybe days on market, how long the house is going to sit, how much interest they're going to pay on their mortgage, et cetera, bills, and then they calculate what they're having to pay an agent to list a property, and oftentimes it ends up being around the same amount that a investor like myself or the groups that we work with will end up paying for the property. And then the third one that's kind of a weird one that we see pretty often is they just don't want to work with agents. I don't know what that's about, but some people just have their minds made up for whatever reason that may be, and they just don't like that whole scenario and how it plays out in their minds. And again, if we try to educate them, we want them to work with an agent first and foremost. We refer a ton of our deals that come across our desk that just don't make sense to agents, but oftentimes people just don't want to work with agents. So those are some of the things that I see. What are you guys seeing? Let me know, and let me know if there's anything I can do to help you.